All right, and here we go. We're gonna get them synced in just a moment, and let's see what happens. Again, rookie versus experience. Do you? Oh well, you said you didn't have any predictions, but I'm gonna say probably Firebroth as well. Like just because he's been playing a little bit more recently, as far as I'm aware.
Indeed, Firebroth has been playing and got his first ever sub 540 time the other day. So pretty excited about that. PB's about 15 seconds clear or so of DarkLordGonzo, but we haven't really seen much in the way from DarkLordGonzo. Right now, we're gonna have this opening room come out as a 41 versus it's looking about the same at 41.
41 into collect power ups, and let's see who's gonna have the RNG on their side. Remember, we're looking here for an orb, but also Razor Shield or Rockets are actually pretty good. In my case, I actually prefer Rockets as the first drop, but I guess that's preference or something. But when you have find an orb, you're set for the rest of the game. And here you go, Rockets on Firebroth's side already.
Yeah, making good use of them. Pretty solid, efficient spread. Meanwhile, DarkLordGonzo not getting much to crow about here, using that nuke. And by the way, for everyone wondering, it is a best of 5 today. It's you got to win 3 races to win the match. 122, solid opener here for Firebroth.
Indeed, pretty solid. 127, not too far. Well, 128, not too far behind, 6 seconds. But this is the room that matters. None of them has an orb yet. With good weapon and good control of the swarm, like you can like get rid of this room without much time loss or no time loss at all. But definitely looking for that orb that Firebroth just got.
I will say that I am positively optimistic here. DarkLordGonzo's movement and play strikes me as someone who's at least spent a little bit of time getting the dust off and remembering how to play. I'm seeing good movement, good lines, good decisions, and the first orb will go to DarkLordGonzo.
Indeed, and there's going to be a little bit of time loss, but what's important is that he's got the orb already as well to start Total Carnage in equal footing. And a nice spreader to get things clean up and get control of the middle before starting this room. And more spreader here, while we got a key on Firebroth's side.
Yeah, Firebroth with that orb, though, should be able to hold things down, no problem. A question in chat, what does the sock mean? It's a foot or a sneaker. We always call it the foot, but it's really just about moving faster is the big thing. DarkLordGonzo picking up rockets now, getting the so-called Holy Trinity of items of the Razor Shield, the Orb, and rockets. Already gone through the rockets, though, of course.
Yeah, definitely. When you have that combination of items, you can just blast through rooms, almost not even caring. There's still a little bit of min-maxing you can do, especially with the rockets, on how you manipulate them. And I see that also runners have different preferences on how to use the Razor Shield. Some using it a little bit more defensively, and some going all in, especially if they have the combination of the foot and the Razor Shield as well.
Well, that's 3 minutes versus 307 in the bonus room, and now we get to hear Mr. Dino do the really stupid meme.
Oh, Taco Bell, Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell.
That's the best thing about being the lead guy. You just get to throw with the other one. Firebroth starts with spreaders first on the left, making a little bit of use. Gets a nuke. Let's see, DarkLordGonzo gets a dude. That's an extra life, not really applicable on this run, unfortunately. Good, solid positioning though. Look at this.
Yeah, actually pretty nice played by both of them. Both playing control in the middle. Oh, Dark Lord going a little bit to the right there, but managing to figure it out, not losing the orb, which is what's most important. And not big weapons for neither of these runners. Oh, there's a little bit of a mistake right there by Firebroth. And now he's scrambling a little bit on the corner right there.
Yeah, Dark Lord's a little less frantic compared to other people in the middle, but it's working for him. He's holding it down. Finally drops the orb. We'll see if that time he had with it compared to his opponent will help him. While he gets a replacement, let's see if he can finish it up here. It's going to be Firebroth that appears up first in a 4:28. Dark Lord is going to gain, well, like 3 seconds. It's a 4-second gap.
That's good. It's less than a drop. And not only that, DarkLordGonzo has the opportunity to do the... I forgot the name of the strat.
The Ball Buster.
The Ball Buster. There you go.
And Firebroth got a first drop spreader, decided not to go for the guaranteed damage as Darklord misses the ball buster, which is new tech compared to when he played, and then couldn't get the second spreader that appeared as Darklord is now going for manuals, and I am highly impressed with DarkLordGonzo in this opening run. Both delivering some decent manuals. Firebroth gets run over, and DarkLordGonzo has the lead.
Indeed has the lead, and Firebroth has got some spreaders, but in weird locations or weird moments on how to make the decision. And so far, DarkLordGonzo just playing better, especially with those manuals. Now a little bit of drying
Here's
weapons,
the spread.
and what a good spreader. It's not gonna get blocked. Oh, that's gonna be big.
This is going to help him swing it back, and he gets an invulnerability as a replacement. Lead is definitely going to switch here. Darklord switching from lobbers to rockets, now going to run those rockets out. It's a slight lead, about 3/4 of a form. Let's see if we can keep pouring it on. Those lobbers will do it for Firebroth. Spreader on the feet for Gonzo.
Hard to get some manuals there. One full form lead right now for Firebroth, and if we don't see a spreader here pretty soon, that's probably going to be pretty much it for the first game.
Should be good on this spreader, I believe, for Firebroth. Landing a lot of shots. Just going to run out. Darklord gets a spreader but has no invulnerability. Runs into him trying to use it, and this will finish it off.
Yeah, a couple of swings on this Mutoid man. Still a pretty tight match. I mean, it's going to be more than the 4 seconds going in, but it was a pretty tight match in pretty much every room. Pretty well played. However, first point is going to go to Firebroth here.
And yeah, Gonzo's not going to be that far back after the transfer damage off that. Just needs to grab that lobber and finish it out. He doesn't even need to. The spreader gets it done. So clearly he's put some research in, a little bit of practice. Seemed very up to date on the more modern tech, strategy, and knowledge. So encouraging to see a 21-second victory here. Firebroth takes game number 1.
Yeah, definitely pretty good to see that. Like, it's not just like 3-4 year old school strats. Like you said, he's got the knowledge of what's going on now. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I actually think we're gonna be seeing a tie here for game 2, and DarkLordGonzo is gonna be taking game number 2 here.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And joining us here in the booth, making it a 3-man affair, Tapatio J. Welcome on in. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Great first game there. I was able to catch most of that. DarkLordGonzo looked like hasn't really lost a step. That was pretty impressive after, who knows, after a few years. Definitely looks like in stride. Just a drop here or two, and Firebroth was able to take it, but DarkLordGonzo right there.
Yeah, that was very impressive to see on that run. Some of the Mutoid stuff didn't go perfectly, but the knowledge, like I said, and the new tech just rolled in. Very, very nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things. I think there's a lot we've talked about before. Last 2-3 years, a lot of knowledge been gained in the game as far as how to really take down Mutoid Man, amongst a couple other things. And yeah, it's great to see that tech still coming over after a few years from Gonzo there.
Absolutely here. So game number 2 coming up. We do have a channel prediction points betting thing open on the channel if you want to participate in that. We're underway here. Game number 2. Firebroth on the left, DarkLordGonzo on the right, and it's Firebroth up 1-0. And both last time had a 41-second opener, so let's see if they can improve upon that. Firebroth going to get the foot. I personally love that second drop by that left door. It usually allows me to get pretty consistent 38s. But we'll see how they play here. Right now, it's pretty solid here, I got to say. This one's going to be about the same, probably more like 40s this time. Even better, they're 39s. How about that, Tapatio?
I mean, you love to see that. I mean, really, anything around that 42nd, you're pretty happy with. 38 is phenomenal. And yeah, 39, like, that's just showing some really clean firing lanes. Obviously, you've probably got the manip down. And yeah, nothing really got away from you in that first room. That's all you can really ask for.
Indeed, in the early going here, collect power-ups. DarkLordGonzo's enjoying those power-ups a lot more. Spreader, rocket. Firebroth, meanwhile, is been making do with like nukes, feet, grenades. Not what you want to see.
No, not at all. But this is kind of one of those things that I think it kind of tells a big difference as far as the really good runners of this game. You'll get drops like this, and if you can still eke out of there, and he will eke out of there about 90 seconds or so. Unfortunately, that shrapnel going to take a little extra time. But he got nothing in that room and still made it work. Keeps it within range. If you find an orb here, you'll be able to not lose time, hopefully.
Speaking of orbs, DarkLordGonzo picks one up just after getting all the shrapnels under control. Should be able to cut this room down, no problem. Just has to do nothing too careless while keeping those swarmers away.
I want to add... Sorry.
Not at all. No, I think, Donna, you saw the same thing I did.
Yeah, I think I did. In a blink it and you miss it moment, Firebroth lost the orb because it got on the feet, and as soon as it spawned, it just hit the shrapnel there.
Well, that's not going to help out any here. And you know what? He's finished the shrapnel. Still has swarmers. And got a late spawn orb. That was a bonus.
Oh yeah, you are thanking the heavens right there. You got that drop because this total cartage, you come in here without an orb, and you're getting the weapon drops that he's been getting, which are none. You need that orb to really keep this center going for you. So Firebroth, got to be thankful for that. But it has been a drought otherwise.
DarkLordGonzo, 2 great sidesteps on some shrapnels there. So really showing those chops, those abilities at this game to know what's coming from all angles. Very good awareness there.
Ooh, and a close dodge right there. Was able to keep the center.
No!
But there's another time.
As I say that, he doesn't recognize the shrapnel. Takes a death and will be out at 310. No orb. Probably not going to be too excited about that one.
No, not at all. That's rough. It's the last enemy. You've taken care of everything. You have 3 shrapnel on board. You take care of 2 of them, and the last one just hits you with a diagonal. That's tough right there. We'll see this first drop without an orb. I mean, you can still make do if you get the rockets right here. Maybe even some razor, but yeah, that's a tough one. Nuke will be the first drop for DarkLordGonzo on Tank Trouble.
Nothing wrong with that. Gets into vulnerability, so gonna get rid of that second gunner. Set up on that at least, but now it's about rockets, spreaders, anything you can use.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you can get. And it looks like Firebroth does start out, gets the spreaders, able to take out the first gunner. Unfortunately, grenades into grenades, so not exactly what you want to see in this room. See what he's able to get back to center, and then a dude, and then the loss of orb. Oh no.
Firebroth didn't recognize the tank out of the right door with the enemies, and saw the bullets and stepped down into an orb takeout, and now gets clubbed down in the corner.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Over all these years, you know, a lot of tournament. If there's one thing, I mean, we all have our irks against Mutoid Man, but Tank Trouble could really give you the trash, as we like to say around here. And sometimes it is just a really rough room, and you wonder when it's going to end.
It can feel like an eternity when it's giving you nothing and nothing's going right. DarkLord gets a spreader on the feet here and takes a death, but gets a spreader refill on the top that will be gettable. This is a huge advantage, DarkLordGonzo.
I'd buy that for $1.
No doubt about it. That's a couple arms popped at least right there. Will take the death, but
It's
pretty
a
much
glitch
gets all that.
toy.
Yeah, and the glitch toy. It's great.
Wow. Invulnerability to start for Firebroth. Not what he wanted to cook as an opening drop. Jeez.
Yeah, rockets will help you get some damage in there. Surprising, not going for the gunners, but you got to also think about, you know, trying to line up for another weapon here. Not concerned with the gunners. I just need to get damage out is what Firebroth is thinking. Hopefully, we'll get a spreader and kind of even this up, but DarkLordGonzo running away with it. Head popped already, trying to get down to final form.
Yeah, first arm pops for Firebroth, but we're on to final form for Gonzo. Gonzo will need at least one more weapon after this to get it done, but so far 2 empty drops with this lobber. Now out of weapon. The next drop is also no good. It's not a weapon. It'll keep him safe, but that's about it. Finally gets the lobber, gets the refill here, Tapatio, and man, DarkLordGonzo pours it on there with that early spreader in the Mutoid Man fight. and pops 3 forms in the process. And we'll be out here in a 6:15.
Yeah, not the craziest low time, but that's a race time you'll always accept. Something in the low 6s there. You typically, unless you really get the drops going for you, which Firebroth gets a nice drop there, but it's going to be a little too late here. Does get the final form, but yeah, low 6 to, this 7 minute, sometimes it's just going to shake out that way. But as we kind of saw that in that race, couple orb drops there by, I say, both our competitors. They'll be looking to clean that up going into game 3.
Yeah, if you can keep that orb the whole way through, it really helps. We saw how it allowed both to kind of have a close entry into Mutoid last time. Both dropped it this time, but the weapons just favored Firebroth a little more here in Mutoid Man fight to blow this one wide open. And keep in mind, DarkLordGonzo's PB is somewhere in the 550s. So, I mean, a 6:15, yeah, you take that every day of the week.
Absolutely. I'm down there in that same PB time. I love me a 6:15. I'll take that all day.
So we're all tied up at 1 here, going to that decisive game 3. It doesn't give you the winner of the match, but you win game 3, you get 2 shots to finish it out, where your opponent's got to win 2 on the trot to avoid losing, and it just sets you up for success. And I will say, for the record, trying to seed DarkLordGonzo this season was very, very difficult. Not having anything to go on since, it had been 5 years or so since we'd seen DarkLord in any events. So it's always interesting when you get a long-time returning player coming in there. So let's see. It is going to be interesting. We'll get them underway here. Tapatio, any predictions in this match, or this game, pardon me?
This is an interesting one. I really think we've been talking about how we're impressed to see how Gonzo has definitely kept up with maybe some of the newer strats. Generally good play as far as the arena and Mutoid fight's concerned. Firebroth in the can, I saw visibly kind of just annoyed by a couple of the mistakes there. I'm expecting Firebroth to clean this up and actually get it here for game 3.
I mean, I'm just interested in seeing some equal RNG early so we can just test out, who is playing a little bit better than the other. They're close in play. It's just, can we get some fairly equal RNG here? So game number 3 underway here. We are in the first room where they have to face a minimum of 104 swarmers. And it is going to be a nuke here to finish out for Gonzo. But, well, you know what? It's going to be tight. Their timers are slightly off from one another. They're basically both high 40s. I'd say it's more or less a tie.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Yeah, pretty much neck and neck. See how the drops treat them to start out this room. Invulnerability and grenades, not exactly what you want to see, but a spreader for Firebroth, a little better.
Orb for Gonzo grabs it there near the door. No problems though, as we get a razor shield for Firebroth. So Firebroth was being kept afloat. That invulnerability can't even grab it right now. That razor shield will keep him away from the wall. That's not very nice.
No, in general in this room, it's got to be kind of annoying to get that razor shield. You can use it offensively, kind of move around and hopefully take out a few more foot soldiers than you usually would. But yeah, it's just kind of annoying to get those drops.
It's a 7-second lead here, though. Firebroth riding the weapons and that razor shield to an early lead. Almost got killed by the dying swirl, but is able to sidestep that and now has a razor shield to control the room. Meanwhile, Gonzo just using that orb and cleaning up the room fairly efficiently. And look at this! Firebroth does get the orb, so for the first time in the match, we might be into tank trouble where it wasn't a last-second gift orb to somebody leaving the room.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see, though, because they still got Total Carnage to go through. And we've seen a few times in this tournament, you move a little too quickly in this initial, grouping with the shrapnel and the foot soldiers. You could lose that orb real quick into this room, and then this becomes a problem. But it looks like they're both clean. Nice little breakup right there. Orb actually hitting the shrapnel for DarkLordGonzo is able to start keeping that center.
And I will say as well that Gonzo seems fairly aware of where these soldiers are on that exit, has been doing a good job of cutting a path, not moving too early. That's a common mistake a lot of players make when they're out of practice or new. They just get moving too quickly. Got to make sure you can get out first.
Yeah, I think there's, it's just kind of, you want to push, you want to move fast, get to the spot that you know is going to work. I know, depending on how you treat, nice little 303 there from Firebroth going to the bonus.
And the nuke here from Darklord will only put him down about a second more than he was. So a 6-second difference into the bonus room. And Darklord's been pretty consistent in that 305, 310 range into the bonus room. Still, though, Firebroth will be into tank trouble first. Let's see what that opening drop's going to be. They've not been super great for Firebroth. This time it's going to be Rockets in a somewhat dangerous position. Almost made that escape, but gets a refill orb immediately.
The game doing the right thing and giving that orb right back, because that was some wonderful dancing from Firebroth right there. Rocket on DarkLordGonzo's side, but takes the death to the Swarmer.
Still gets the rocket, though. He's going to at least use that in the interim. Gets another refill here. I mean, technically, the best way to play this room is just chaining rockets. The orb actually runs them out too quickly. Well, as I say that, there's a refill.
Wow, this is, if you're going to lose that orb, unfortunately, think that's 4 in a row for DarkLordGonzo running through this room, getting all the ammo.
And this does it. And there's a fifth one. We are on Prince Leaf level rocket alert. Firebroth loses the orb, gets a rocket. Darklord looking for a 6th one. Won't get to see it, but that was Prince Leaf-esque. It's a 431. Firebroth trying to finish the room, uses a nuke. That does it. 435. We have a lead change, but it's 4-second difference.
I'd buy that for $1.
A little bit of rocket will help with this initial swirl. Get 1-2 of these gunners? Yes, it does. And that's not too bad for DarkLordGonzo. Firebroth getting the lobbers, so we'll be able to get some damage. Not focusing on those gunners. It does get 1. And
then get shot in the process. Will not get to the lobber refill. DarkLordGonzo gets an empty drop. The next drop is going to be underneath Mutoid, it appears. It is still not visible. Mother hen action here on Darklord's side.
That is rough. Yeah, we're never going to know what it was, but there's
Finally, a spreader. Jeez. Nice lobber grab from Firebroth. Darklord trying for manuals, landing some here. Finally runs into the grenade, accidentally dies in the process, and now picks up another grenade. Firebroth, meanwhile, pounding home lobber shots, and should be popping that arm here in a moment.
Yeah, bringing it right back. Pretty close here in terms of damage, about a half form to a form or so. Another lobber for Firebroth, so going to be able to keep that up. Same thing for DarkLordGonzo.
What a
Both getting the even drops.
Oh, man! Firebroth takes a snipe at the top. That is very difficult to do. That's just bad, unfortunate action there of a vibrating mutoid.
Yeah, Mutoid's gonna Mutoid. Here we go. More lobbers. Here the death that Firebroth can take. DarkLordGonzo with another manual opportunity. Oh no, but
he gets run over. So now the lead might be swinging back here. Firebroth, final form. Getting some transfer. May have stolen this one at the end. Darklord, final form. Lobbers for Firebroth. Kind of trapped right now. Gets taken down.
And sometimes he'll just do that. We'll get to these spreaders. It's not going to be enough damage. It's close.
But it's going to be Firebroth by a couple seconds. Wow.
That was, 2-3 lead changes it felt right there. That was, for a 650 from 2 runners that would like to see a lot better times. That was an incredible race right there. Both really just trying to do anything they can to get that damage in. And Firebroth will just take it very close.
Yeah, the rocket chain in tank trouble got DarkLordGonzo the lead. And then we just saw that spreader at the right time at the end swung it back for Firebroth. Unbelievable there. The lead changes back and forth in that race. And just so everyone knows, we do have another match coming up after this one. We have E.T. Goham, the other big name returning after a few tournaments off, will be taking on a rookie in Jericho. The two of them are in the second chance bracket, so unfortunately, one of them will be leaving the tournament today.
Crazy to think about that. I mean, it's it's a double elim, and so that's the way it's just gonna be. But I mean, the second chance bracket is gonna have just awesome matchup after awesome matchup. It's a shame that some of these guys unfortunately won't be able to continue on, but that's how it is. It is like you've said before. There's not a lot of hiding in this tournament anymore. You're gonna run into some absolute killers as you're going through this thing.
It is difficult to find some room to hide, as you said, and has been said many times for that matter. And every year it just seems to get a little better and a little more competitive. Really looking forward to seeing how all the matches play out this year, but can't help but wonder, can make it even better next year? Any of you in chat that are interested, you got time to learn it, figure it out, get yourself in next year, and could maybe make a name for yourself. There are some legends that have made debuts, like Firebroth, and won a lot of games. Here we go. Game number 4. Can DarkLordGonzo force the decisive game 5, or will Firebroth finish it off in 4?
We'll see how these early drops work out for him. It looks like pretty clean right here. Maybe a slight edge to Firebroth here, but negligible at that.
Did get a nuke on the feet, but the spawns just kept up enough. They both get 40s here. Very solid opening rooms today. DarkLord has generally seen better RNG in this room than Firebroth. Let's see if that continues. Well, nothing to write home about yet, Taps. Just feet and vulnerabilities.
Yeah, these are both like not completely, it's not keys, it's not lives, so not completely useless things, but yeah, you want to see a little bit more, and you definitely don't want to see these grenades. That's just something you actively try to get out of the way of.
Very much, and DarkLord with that orb grab had to be patient, did a great job of it, and will be out first. It's going to be a 125. Firebroth with a late orb and a nuke will be out at 130, a 5-second lead here for Gonzo. Gonzo uses the nuke, so going to take a slight time penalty to clean it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen that play as of yet. Usually people, no matter what the situation is that they're in Shrapnel, really try not to take that nuke. But did get rewarded with the rockets here is DarkLordGonzo, and will easily finish out this room.
It does take out some of the guesswork at the start of the room, but it wasn't like it was desperation time or there was some stuff chasing DarkLord, so bit of a strange decision, but, not completely indefensible. DarkLord out at 210 here. Firebroth's going to be out at 212. So yeah, about a 2-second penalty to DarkLord for using that nuke.
Yeah, there it is, that tricky opening. DarkLordGonzo had a couple foot soldiers in the corners here, still kind of giving some problems. He's holding the center though, just having to deal with a couple of these purple shirts, kind of getting out of line here. Shrapnel not going to make it any easier as well. Rockets for Firebroth, and then the Razor Shield, so not bad on Firebroth's side.
Yeah, this will help Firebroth quite a bit. Will make it a bit easier to hold the middle, not have to worry about those diagonal strays as much. Really good to see that the firing lanes are going to be crisper. That's one thing I will say. DarkLord's lanes have been a little ragged the last game or two, so we'll have to see if that continues. Gets a Razor Shield later in the room. Should keep him fairly safe.
And there you go, actually going out of his way to grab those shoes there. Won't bother for the key there, but it's kind of, one of those ones. You want to hold that center and keep that kill count up, or are you trying to get that premier drop, trying to get that maybe last rocket drop before you're heading into tank trouble here, to set yourself up for that room. But yeah, both in here at the bonus room, real close to one another. Little product placement yet again, but we won't do that song. Instead, see what this first drop is.
Well, we got a 3-second lead here for Firebroth coming into tank trouble. First drop for Firebroth is an immediate foot. Gonna just ignore it. A nuke for Dark Lord, not a terrible opening drop, and get rid of one gunner and maybe two. And trying for it, gets it. Gets rockets on the feet as Firebroth drops the orb.
Oh, wow, and that's going to tell a lot right here. Definitely right now, this room's looking much better for DarkLordGonzo. Does get another nuke here. Probably going to ignore it. Yeah, it looks like just wants to keep this center going. Spreader on Firebroth side will help him get back to the center a little bit more, but needs to see an orb, needs to see the weapons here to
A
catch up.
razor shield for Gonzo. That's going to help him really hold this down. And just focusing on those swarmers. Get that counter eliminated. And yet, we're going to have another lead change. Gonzo in at 427 as Firebroth is having a nightmare of a tank trouble.
This room though. Yeah, when's it gonna end? Why are they still spawning? Hey, there's another tank and another shrapnel. Why are you doing this, Mika? And there's the death. The rockets could get to. No, can't get to these. Oh no.
Oh, trying for the ball buster. Gonzo gets flexed on. Gonna get this grenade now. Made a heck of a spreader grab right under the treads of Mutoid as he was entering. With the gunners there, always dangerous. So despite that sizable lead, still no form pop for Gonzo. There's a spreader. That'll should help. Be gettable. We'll see if Mutoid decides to make a late charge. No.
Does not.
And the vulnerability.
That's the stellar drop right there. That's going to allow him to continue that spreader as much as possible without having to do the manual. Getting that damage. 2 arms popped now for DarkLordGonzo.
Does get another spreader. Won't be able to use the invulnerability as it was running out. Gets a third form off here. Firebroth trying for a spreader. Mutoid's not going to block it, so we'll be able to make up some ground here to catch back up. Another spreader refill. Won't be able to die for that one.
But definitely going for it. Looking for the snipe is Mutoid Man, but not going to hit it. Now the manual trying to get some shots in. Gets maybe a few here. Not too bad. Staying alive as Firebroth is still
spreader!
That's incredible. It's looking real lined up for DarkLordGonzo to take this one.
This will be final form here. Gonzo backing off. Those grenades will be enough. Just has to get in close, avoid that shrapnel shot, and this should do it. And gets it done. So we are going to a decisive game number 5. DarkLordGonzo, Firebroth, living up to the billing here.
Just great stuff right there. Another shrapnel. Unfortunately, Firebroth won't know, but that one's not going to matter. Unfortunate that there. But yeah, no time, haven't cracked the sub 6 here, but really some nice back and forth, some good Mutoid play, and it's just, honestly, I think Tank Trouble's been a big decider in this matchup.
Tank Trouble's been big, and there's also been some well-timed spreaders along the way. I will say this for Gonzo in that room. Got not a lot of anything from about the first 6-7 drops of Mutoid, and that opened the door, but then the drop swung it back to Gonzo, affirmatively with that great spreader opportunity and then a spreader to manual with afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard you mention a couple times as far as, those manuals, obviously you hit those shots, the better, but as far as I think sometimes there'll be a desire to really try to get those shots, and then all of a sudden you're taking a death with still like 2/3 of a clip of spreader in there. Sitting back a little bit, letting them come to you, that sort of thing, and yeah, maybe overall you're only getting, a quarter of those shots in for true manual damage, but staying alive for that next drop has proved so vital, especially if you get that invulnerability on the other side.
If you get that, or you're just able to land some of those shots waiting for that next weapon, and you can still fire with that spreader as you're running to that next one. It really does benefit if you can get something out of a manual, even if it's just staying alive. That will tally up the damage over time. So here we go. Game number 5, Firebroth and Gonzo. Make your call, chat. Who you got? The ancient champion rising up for,